Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of Knott's Grand Adventure. I'm finally back over here. It's not because I got sick of the other park, it's just I want to get this done, and I kind of got some ideas for it. So let's just dive right into it. So looking straight ahead, if you pay attention, you may notice something a bit different with the skyline. There's two towers off in the distance, and we're gonna go there in a bit, not right this second. So first we're gonna come around here. There's a few people in here at the moment. Oh, I love the reflections in this. Just because I want to test something out, and we'll be there in a second. So as you can see, this is over here. I don't know if I'm gonna keep this here at all, just because it's kind of it's a really weird spot for this flat, especially with the train station right there. I have some ideas on what to do with this area, and it might result in me changing the train's layout yet again, but we'll see what happens with that, because over here, this area used to be called Land of the Giants. It's now Surfside Thrills. I kind of realized that it had like a beach theme, and Land of the Giants wasn't really that good of a theme to begin with. So it is a like beach surf themed area. It has its own soundtrack that I got off of YouTube, which is why the game's paused right now. I don't want to get a copyright strike for it. So, I'll unpause once I'm out of the area, but then again, it is kind of nice having a somewhat steady frame rate, because it's just getting worse. I keep adding more scenery, and it just keeps taking hits. So, yeah, that it sucks, but it's unavoidable. So, alright, here's Fury 327. I have not changed the name yet. It's where you guys kind of come in. I kind of want to give this a new name, make it more surf themed, I guess, but I don't really know what to call it. If you guys don't think of anything, I'll just keep the name Fury 327, though I don't think it really goes with the beach theme. The station is staying the same, but I gave the queue these coverings, and they're supposed to kind of look like waves. I think I did an okay job of making them look a bit wavy. So yeah, I have two of these. I just copied and pasted them. After I built that one, I placed another one right there, and I just kind of clipped it a bit. And yeah, that's the queue. I'm gonna add more plants and flowers and stuff around it. One of the big things that I've been doing is just adding more foliage and just kind of experimenting with things. Kind of like this path. I don't really know if I want to keep this path the way that it is. Like, I think it's pretty, but I just don't know how realistic it would be for a park this big to have this, like, wave pattern, or, like, water pattern. Like, is it painted? Like, I don't know. Like, I just don't think it's realistic. I think that the upkeep would be too expensive to the point where they probably wouldn't do it. So this right here is was a little walkway in between here and there, and I added these fences just to go keep people safe, and I was like, well, that just looks kind of dumb. So I started adding seaweed, then I added this thing, and there's like fog for some reason. It's pretty much just like a tunnel to keep you cool when you're walking through the park, because there really isn't a lot of shade in this park. Like, some areas have it, some don't. I'm trying to fix that right now, but it's going to take some time. It also has lighting, which I will show off in a bit. I'm not going to do that just yet. So, Riptide is the same. It really fit the theme, and these guys are... I don't know how you're doing that, but good job, guys. That takes skill right there. On this ride, I redid the JoJo roll to make it way smoother, and I don't know if you guys can tell the difference, but it's way better than it used to be. I rebuilt it using the 4-meter method, so obviously I got a smoother Heartline and Roll out of it because the other one was bad and I hated it. The transition into it is still kind of weird, but it's a weird element, and I've never been on Hydra, so I don't know exactly how theirs does it. Maybe their station is higher up. I don't know. I haven't been there. Alright, next up. This right here used to be Path. The path would go, yeah, just this way, underneath that turnaround, and then connect over here. Then right here is where that flat ride was. And I was like, well, this doesn't make sense. There's all this space over here, and I can have the queue running this way instead. And I think that'll just be better overall. So I did. And then I added a Larson looper right here because Cedar Fair parks have those now. Well, Valley Fair is getting one. And I have nothing against it. Whatever. People like their Star Flyers Larson loops. Yeah, right now it's called Eye of the Storm. I don't know if I'm going to keep that. I might give it a different name because it does have like the fire on it. So I don't know, maybe I'll call it Pele or something because Pele is like the goddess of like fire. The only reason why I know that is because of Tiki Room. Oh, I guess I clicked on that. Anyways, speaking of gods, this is Kanaloa. It's the new name for Dominator. It's the god of the ocean or something like that. It doesn't really make sense because there's nothing really ocean themed about it. But I like it, and none of the other ones really made sense to rename it. So I don't know. The queue is slightly different. You start over here now. I just moved the sign over because I do like the design of the sign. And just real basic queue. I have it going underneath here. That right there will all be covered up. So you'll just walk past a building. And this right here is where the original queue was. It just went that direction. And yeah, I think this is overall a better design choice. I'm probably going to keep going with these triangle queue covers, or I might switch it up entirely and go with more of the thatch roof, because that's what the station's going to have, because the castle thing was just a bad idea. I don't really know why I thought it was a good idea. I think I just wanted to switch up what scenery pieces I was using, and it didn't really work. It looked weird and having the queue, or rather the exit, go around in that way. It didn't make sense, which is another reason why I moved the entrance over here and the exit that way, is because of this path, and there was a ride there. Pretty much everything happened because I kind of realized it was badly designed, and I fixed it. I've been adding these fences over here just to keep people safe. They are not pretty, and they're not meant to be. They're just here to keep you safe. I'm kind of trying to go for the style that a lot of amusement parks use around their rides. They're very, very tall. You can't really climb them. I think I would prefer if they didn't have those, because those look like you could maybe climb them. But it's such a minor thing. Guests in this game can't climb things. They can't trespass either, but I just like the realism of them not being able to, period, even if they wanted to. I changed the layout of this slightly. I added this helix before the mid-course just to add a little bit more ride time since it was cutting it a bit close. And I didn't like how sharp the entrance into the mid-course was. I also extended this brake section just slightly, and I think it looks a lot better than than it did before. Oh yeah, duh. Wipeout. This is Wipeout. I have been wanting to add a God, why can't I think of what this is called? A top scan in this park for so long, and I couldn't figure out where to put it. And then I settled on right here. And originally I had the ride facing the opposite direction, but then it meant that all the action of the ride happened way over here, and aesthetically it didn't really work. I don't know, it just seemed off. And you know what, if I turn off or turn down the volume thing, come on, settings. Soundtrack, park music. Apply. Okay. Wait, is that... I'll just briefly turn off the music, so I don't want to get the copyright strike. There, just 0. So this is... Did I unpause? No. Okay. This is Wipeout. I have been theming it. I wanted it to look nice from the midway, so I added rocks and I put the sign over there. And I was worried that that part right there would move, but thankfully it doesn't. That's the only part that moves on this. So I've just been placing the scaviola, whatever it's called, around here just to kind of hide the ride's base. I wanted to add it all the way back here, but this is where the operator booth is, so I think we're just going to have it go to here and then add a fence around here. Speaking of, there's fences right here that I added just so that people can't go back there. They won't go back there because there's no pathing for it, but I really don't want them to. Now, if this thing could hurry up and dispatch, that would be cool, so I can show you the beautiful view. Set it to any load, so it should go a little bit quicker. And you know what? Let's not have them wait that long. Let's have it 30 seconds, maximum of 60. And I think by doing that, I've kicked those people off. Oh, geez, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to do that. Is there anyone in the queue? Yes, although at this point I just don't care. I just want it to run so you can see how amazing it looks from this angle. Like, look at this. That is a picture that would be on like a postcard or like the souvenir book or just like the front of the park map. Like, look at all this color and all this track. I love where I put this. And this ride is just so visually appealing. Like, even if you're on the other side, it just towers over the path. And if it would have been facing the other way, it just wouldn't have quite worked as well. So yeah, that's Wipeout. Yeah, I have some ideas for possibly expanding this area. The main idea that I had was having the path, like I would get rid, or rather move the restrooms right here over to here, and then have a path that would run like this way, connecting over here. Then I would redo Wipeout's queue, but I don't know. Like I'd pretty much just be doing that to add one extra flat ride and to have more building space right here, because I still do want to add buildings along here, because I mean, it's a theme park. There needs to be buildings at the front. Like right now, it's way too empty. Most of it is just bad planning because I can't build anything right here. And it's a really, really cool entrance, but it's not very realistic, so you can't do anything with any of this right here. I could add the smallest of buildings, but you need one to at least be like this big for it to even be remotely realistic. Like, most of my buildings are very, very small, and it's a problem that I need to work on. Alright, now let's go over here. Hey, look, there's a giant inverted boomerang. Okay. I cannot take any credit for this, like the track layout or the supports. I got this off of the Steam Workshop because I knew that I would not be able to do as good of a job as someone else. So I borrowed it, and I'm gonna give them full credit. Where is it? Where is it? Why? Here it is. Deja Vu. All credit is going to go to... Where are you? To Chris Weiser, 1974. This guy did an amazing job with building this. Like, when I first plopped it down, I was like, is that even gonna clear right here with like the station? But no, it clears it, and it's just beautiful. So thank you so much for making this and putting on the Steam Workshop. I will have a link to this file in the description. And yeah, he just did an amazing job. Um, but yeah, I really wanted one of these in my park. I was kind of over having flight deck there. I just didn't think that it looked very good, and no one wrote it. Like, I don't know, like, I guess with all the other options in the park, no one wanted to go on a wing coaster. And I get it's a wing coaster. There's not much to say about them. They're wing coasters. But yeah, this is Afterburn. I have changed the name from Flight Deck because it doesn't make sense to have two things named the same thing one right after another. Just ignore the whole accelerator thing going on over there. That's different. And I moved the sign for it over here, renamed it, recolored it, and added this little plaza right here. And there are benches here so people can sit. And I think I've seen a few people do that, but generally people end up just walking through it. And in case you're wondering, yes, I did place the pots underneath it, and it didn't really seem to help a whole lot. So I don't know if they patched that or what's going on, but they're just walking through it, which is lame. But oh well, nothing I can do about that, unless I'm using the wrong one. Let me know in the description if I'm supposed to be using the barrel planter or the one that looks like a vase with flowers in it, but I'm pretty sure it's the barrel planter. Um, this ride is a very, very basic queue covering. It's pretty much just to keep people safe from falling debris because the majority of this ride's queue is pretty close to the track. So if something were to fly off, it would hit them. I also do plan on entirely covering up this section, probably with the same thing, which will kind of, you'll lose the cool view when trains fly overhead, but that's really unsafe just having it like that. The restroom, I have been going back and forth with keeping it here and moving it there. That's why that path is sticking out right there. So I'm not really sure what I want to do with that. I'll make up my mind at some point. What else? What else? Over here, I am working on just filling in this spot. So right here, I have these shops and a restroom, and all that will be kind of connected over here. I'll have plants and stuff right there. I'm gonna add theming to this to make it look all sci-fi and futuristic. This area still needs lots of work. It's not high on my to-do list. I'll get there at some point. And I don't know, maybe by 2018 this park will be done because I've been working on it for way too long and I just want to be done with it. But I am enjoying working on it still. It's not anything like that. I don't plan on stopping anytime soon, so yeah. Oh, and that brings me to my next thing. So, right here, smack dab in the middle, we have the Rapids ride. And it has a kind of unusual layout. It's a very, very short Rapids ride. And I do wish that it was a bit longer. So, I was considering moving the Rapids over here and then moving the Sierra Sidewinder over here because they fit. It fits really, really well, actually. And then I just plop down the station. I'd probably move it hereabouts. And then it's cool because you'll have, you know, the ride just going around doing stuff. And it's really good interaction. Also, this area right here, I would like to widen it, and I can't because of the rapids. But, I don't know. I'm gonna experiment with it, obviously, because I don't want to build it and then it just doesn't work. And then with Rolling River, I would probably just end up making an entirely new Rapids ride and have it take up more of the space because it's a pretty similar space in terms of area, but I can do a lot more with it, and I could just make like a full-fledged Rapids. And I might even give myself this area also, just because I think it would look nice. And I would like to attempt to give it a circular station. I've seen a lot of people doing it. It seems like a pretty easy thing to do. And you're basically just faking a circular station while doing it really, really simply. And I believe that you do it by... I'll just show it off really quick. So I think... Well, no, I want to do it custom. Okay, so you see how big this thing is? It doesn't need to be that big. Let me go to a nice open area. Like... I guess it doesn't really matter. I can just build through things. So here... And then... Let's see... And then... You just build it like that, but then with that you hit delete, delete, delete. You just want it to be one section big, and then that way you can just build the rest of the turntable around it. And it looks a lot better. It's more realistic. That's how most rapid rides operate. I don't think I've ever seen a... Actually, no, I take that back. The one at Magic Mountain does have a traditional linear station like the one here does. Did I hit? What button did... Oh, okay. That's what I did. But yeah, that's basically all I have planned right now. If I do end up opening up this area, I'll probably move this around just so it works a bit better. And I might even redo some parts of Sierra Sidewinder just to make it work better. And obviously I'm going to move this station because I'm very proud of this station. I think they did a really good job with it, and as much as I like this area and how it's laid out, I just think I could do a little bit better overall. I've always thought it was kind of a weird spot to have the Rapids ride just like right in the middle of Camp Snoopy. And I mean, Rapids rides aren't... there's never been a Rapids ride in a Camp Snoopy. So I feel like if I have it over here, it's a little bit more ambiguous. Like it could be for this area, or it could be for that area, or it could just be kind of in the middle. I mean, hell, I could even extend the western path ever so slightly and just say, yeah, it's part of the western area, and no one could dispute it because it's my park and I said so. And yeah, I might build parts of it over here, but it's pretty narrow space, and I do like where I have this. And me moving this over here isn't really gonna add a whole lot. So yeah, that's gonna do it for this little park update. When and if, like, I want to do another video where I actually build something that's not a live stream. I just don't know what yet. Like as much as I'd like to do a Sean builds a blank thing, it gets almost old doing it over and over again, because like I build something and like I'm trying to have like a plan for that park, and then I end up liking it and I'm like, well damn, now I can't keep it because it doesn't go with the plan. So I know it's complicated. Maybe I'll just rebuild the spinning coaster from scratch, but that will be at a later time. So anyways, thank you all very much for watching this little video, and I will see you later.